Hey everybody, it's Linda. Today is June the 4th, and I wanted to bring a few things together for you guys that I've been diving into this week. So it really feels like the hammer's about to drop. All the Q posts, everything just culminating, coming together, especially the all systems go markers and drops. It's really feeling like we're finally going to get something, through this weekend. And there's been rumors going around that there is going to be a lockdown because of national, like, soft martial law. So if you don't have what you need, get out to the stores. Just make sure you have enough on hand and don't panic because it's going to be fine. Yeah. And we keep saying, we're not going back. So it's I guess what are we seeing along this ride that we're going on? What is it that you are seeing out your window? And someone else in the same car. We're all in the same boat, we say, so we might have different views and different perspectives. But it's interesting. I wanted to bring a couple of really neat things together because there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. And I'm going to do a little screen share for you and share with you something I wrote in an article today, published on my website. You guys can go and check that for all the links if you want. Let me see if I can get to this article here. Okay, so it's called Reality Comes Crashing Down. I'm just talking about, being in a painful experience if your reality is just suddenly crashing down. And I'm just asking people if that's where if you're there yet, like it's a free falling kind of thing. And you can go read the article. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I did want to get you down to this, the Parse syntax grammar. So if you haven't heard of Russell-J Gould yet, he claims to be the Postmaster General, and all I can just tell you to, I'll show you his name in this article here, and you guys can do the research on who he is. As a matter of fact, here you go. So when you go to this article, you can read, or you search his name, you can read all about him and the titles that he claims. But he and his partner introduced the Parse syntax grammar. And if you've never heard of that and you say, well, what is that? It's basically quantum grammar, or correct sentence structure communication, Parse syntax grammar. So it's like making grammar into a mathematical equation so that it's correct. And Russell has claimed to do some things that are absolutely pretty amazing. And if he is the one, if he has done what he's done, this will all be coming to light soon. And if you've never heard of him, you can go and check his story out with the War Castle series on YouTube. And this will give you some idea of what he's been through and what they put him through and what he claims that he has done through the Postal Service, including claiming the flag and various titles. And this is all going to link together. You're going to love how this comes together, because if you have heard of him or you have seen any of the War Castle videos, you'll know just how powerful what he's saying. It resonates as truth. And it's like, we're in this theater, everything's like a theater down here. And if you have a controlling faction that just ignores you and ignores the truth, even if you're bringing truth forward, and they ignore you and they don't tell you through mass media and they don't convey that, then it's not really true. It's like, well, how good is it if you're using maritime or admiralty? You're basically using maritime law in the court systems instead of constitutional law. And if a judge isn't going to hear you, so Russell has claimed to do some things in court. And by identifying and using proper grammar, he's claimed to, do some things. So I highly suggest you check out this series, War Castles. Go back to the first one. There's 10 of them. So as you can see, start there, go all the way back. I've watched them all, but they upload and re-upload them sometimes. I think they've been taken down. So there's been some problems with that. But go back and check those out if you want to learn all about the Parse syntax grammar. It does get a little bit, and sorry, Russell, because I absolutely admire everything that you've been through, but oh my God, it does get a little bit like hard to understand, I guess. And I really don't think that we're going to re-educate the entire population of humanity in Parse syntax grammar. I just don't see it happening. However, there are certain mechanisms to it that seem very valid in the quantum world, such as signing with your thumbprint or your index finger across a postal stamp and then signing it. That is, staking your, however he puts this, that is a mechanism that I believe will absolutely give validity to things like I'm going to show you next, like the fellow who's claiming to be the King of England. And that's all really interesting. So I wanted to talk about the illegitimate queen softly abdicating her throne on May 10th. That's my birthday. And she abdicated her throne softly. And so if there's anybody who watches this who is over in England or knows anything about this, if you want to please leave some comments in the description box, anything, if you've seen things in person, like the crest being taken down off of the gates and all that. There's pictures going all over around the internet with Joseph Gregory Hallett's new crest. And they were photoshopping it in there. But, if that actually is real, if you go there and the crests are down and, the windows are kind of boarded up and whatnot, he was joking around on a video saying that they were remodeling for him. I mean, it's kind of cool to think that we could actually have a legitimate king who is claiming to be from the Jesus Mary bloodline and descended from Anne Boleyn, who actually faked her death. If you listen to his whole story, it's fascinating. Like Bill Clinton being part of Winston Churchill's bloodline, and just some of the illegitimate bloodline things going on, like the Queen. There's so many fascinating pieces to this puzzle. So one thing that I learned in this week when I've been going over this King of England, because I've studied the War Castle series for a while, since they've been going around, and I find that fascinating, but I find that very difficult to think that humanity is even if we're undereducated or we've been dumbed down. I have a hard time thinking that everybody's going to learn this grammar because, some people are good with equations and some people are good with grammar and some people are not. It's just not going to be a good fit. Now, if it is something that holds the constructs or there are mechanisms to it, like the stamp and the fingerprint and the signature that hold weight and value to using the postal service and staking claims and things, okay, I can definitely see that, like I said before. So this is how I'm going to tie it all together. Check this out. So there's a 3-part series on the King of England, okay? He looks like a king, doesn't he look like he's a king? Anyhow, there's the other 2 parts. I put the links in here so you can click on here or click on here and check those out. I think this one's only like 30 minutes. The first one might be like an hour and a half. So just, have the time when you go to watch it, and then another 30 minutes, and then this one's over 2 hours. It's worth the time to get to know this fella because, this is new stuff. You might want to learn more about him, so you can click on here and go directly to his site and, meet the king of, look at the website name too, King of UK. And there's no masks or anything on it, just goes straight there. If you just type in your browser, kingof.uk, it'll take you right to the site. And in this site, you can, I think he's written a lot of books, and I think you can get those books in here too, but he talks about the predictions that were fulfilled. There's videos, there's, the legal documents of the abdications. I wanted to show you the legal documents too, because this is where it ties into Parse syntax grammar. So stay with me. I know this might sound like a snoozer, but just stay with me for a minute. Promise I'm getting there. So under his legal documents section, you can see he's uploaded a whole bunch of documents. So you can scroll all the way down. There's a whole bunch of them that he's uploaded for people to take a look at. But let me just show you something here. All right, this is in full screen. So how am I gonna? Can't scroll down. Hold on one second. I don't think I can scroll down to show you. Now I'm gonna have to show you that. Let me see if I can do it this way. Trying to make this bigger for you. Oh, there we go. I think I got it. Okay, so check this out. Look at that. Boom. Thumbprint across the postal stamp with a signature. And then his seal at the bottom. I don't know if I can get that all the way down for you. Yep, there it is again. And every page in there where he needed to sign his seal, this is his seal, but he's got his thumbprint and he's got his signature across the stamp. And this is his statement of claim. And there's actually a lot of pages in here. But if you guys want to read this, go to here. Oh, and this was just done in, well, that says 2019, but I think he filed these, yeah, April 5th this year. So pretty cool stuff, huh? I'm just getting that a little lower so we can. All right, now what else have I got for you here? Something interesting. So you can go to this site. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put this in the right spot so that you guys can see. All right, so you can go to his site. Back in the article, I have the links there. And when you go down through all these titles, you'll see there's all kinds of documentation, like the fact that he's Anne Boleyn's royal lineage and state his claim to that. So it's a certified declaration and he makes claims. I mean, even being, oh yeah, so one of the titles that he has is Vicar of Christ, which is the Pope's title, always has been. So I'm not, I grew up, I was raised as a Roman Catholic, but I am not practicing. I have my own opinions about religion, which I will not share right now. If I have in the past, you guys know, but to each his own. And the thing is, Vicar of Christ is a title reserved for the Pope. And so that's one of the titles that he has. Let me go back to this. Okay, so that's one of the titles. Now, I'm going to show you this one because you'll like this one. The Catholic News Agency published an article. And in here, there is a really pissed off cardinal. And he's saying that this changes theological barbarism. Or yeah, he's not happy. It was a German weekly, it was a commentary for the German weekly. So let me see. They're trying to say it's not a big deal. So they're trying to downplay it. But here's the thing. The 2019 edition has, well, it's a single page describing the Pope as Francis, Bishop of Rome, but instead of the heading in the subsequent page with the title Vicar of Christ, as it did in 2019, the 2020 edition has the Pope's baptismal name followed by a brief biography. So he's not given this title, and the Cardinal's kind of ticked about it. Now maybe the Cardinal's just not in the know, but if you check out some of the videos and some of the interviews of Joseph Gregory Hallett, and you see what he said about the Pope basically stepping down. And some of the things they spoke about was more open than what the Queen did on the May 10th, which I think the Pope did it on Easter or Good Friday or one of those days. There was some kind of speaking going on, and either the Pope had already left or I'm not really sure because I don't follow that. So if you guys know about that, that's great. But I saw a video where they were doing translation from, I guess, the language that they were speaking, Roman or whatever, and they were doing this translation, basically saying that this person is rightful and all of that. So it's in one of the videos that is on this page. So this is on Gregory's page. Anyway, check that out and see for yourself. See what you think. See what you feel about this man. If you think he's telling the truth, or if he's not. But here's the thing. Oh, time will tell. If he really is the new king, time will tell. And I have some questions I would like to ask him directly. Because, look, if the Pope is no longer having the title of Vicar of Christ, and he is the one holding the sword now, and he's the one that can make kings and nobody else can, and he has these titles, and if this really is all true, what does it mean? What exactly does it mean to have a new king? And so he did, in some of those documents, I didn't show you some of the names of the people that he sent it to in different countries. Like he sent it to Putin, he sent it to Trump, and various other important people around the world. So I would like to ask him how he would rule differently from past kings and queens. And if he's for the people, what measures would he take to help the people right away? And does Sarah have anything to do with his titles? How is that going to be implemented? What are his plans for ruling? Like, what would he like to see happen in the next year? And it's hard to say 5 years, 10 years, because we can't even plan a week in advance. Some people still don't even, many people still don't even have any jobs and can't even plan the next day, let alone the next week. And so what would he do to help people right away? So what would he like to see happen in the next year or maybe 2 years? And then will he be leveling the playing field to help the most needy? And when will everybody find out? And when are you planning to move into the palace? And will you be visiting the United States of America? Are you a trained light worker? If you could speak to the entire world right now, what are your top 3 most important statements that you would tell everyone? So there's just a couple of questions that I would ask him. There was somebody who had just discovered this as well, and I saw it in another interview that he did. It's on his website where he interviewed with another younger gentleman, not the Zoom where he was on with 3, not where the links that I put for you, but on his website. And there was somebody who was making comments about him being the Antichrist. And it's interesting to note that he said anti, which this is true, means the opposite of anti, but ante means in place of, which ties in with the title Vicar of Christ. It means in place of Christ. So just throwing that out there for you guys. And in case you're not following the Global Currency Reset, or the GCR, Judy Byton on Thursday said, and today's the 4th, so this was an update from today. She wrote, as of this writing, it's Wednesday, the 3rd, June, midnight. No 800 numbers yet, and Hillary did not show up to record hearing. So what's new? What's new, excuse me, was that we have a full military shutdown with nationwide stay-at-home orders for 2 weeks, with mass arrests beginning when you take what you know to the bank this weekend. Patience is a virtue, remember? Now I'm going to stop right there for a minute, because to me that was kind of a what? Means we don't have the 800 numbers yet, so you're counting on us having them. Are we going to be getting the 800 numbers to take what we have to the bank this weekend before the shutdown? Or are they going to say that there's a 2-week shutdown now to do all the arrests, So therefore we can't go to the bank, right? It's confusing, isn't it? And it's a pain in the ass because there's always something getting in the way, something drawing it out, something stopping it. I really feel like, so here, the deadline for the Wells Fargo with the coded 800 numbers of safe website for Tier 4B, the internet group could set redemption appointments, all pending POTUS and the RV teams working through the events of the riots nationwide. Well, if we're in a nationwide shutdown for 2 weeks, which Judy seems to think that we are, it's reading as if we already are in that 2-week state. Well, we're not going to be able to actually go and, do our exchanges. So obviously they're still working on the riots, and though a hint of what lie ahead was received early this morning on the 3rd when the email arrived from a trusted source with a shocker said to have come from Homeland Security and military contacts. Quote, the alliance is about to strike back. Expect full military shutdown in 48 to 72 hours. Stay-at-home orders nationwide for 2 weeks. Combo operation to include deep state arrests for crimes against humanity. It's what we've been waiting for. So look, here's what I'll say about this. Because nobody wants to be in a perpetual state of kicking the can and not knowing what's going to happen and just trusting all the time just to see things seem to get worse. Just remember, it is a theater. We're all safe. We're all okay. Just stay in your inner guidance. All right, look, if they have to put us on a 2-week lockdown where we can't go anywhere for 2 weeks so that they can really drain the swamp and do the mass arrests that we've been waiting for forever now. People are laughing at us when we talk about it now because they're just like, come on, I don't see anything. And there's too many people that have been hurt so bad in this lifetime that they are going to need to see it to believe it. It's not because they're doubting Thomases, and we are not to judge those people. We're still holding space for people, remember? We're light workers. We're supposed to be the enlightened community that's holding space and peace and love and all of that, and yet still balancing that, not just being all the way on the left side or all the way on the right side. And, we have to bring it all together, balance everything that we know and we've trained for. So look, if they're going to do a 2-week roundup and arrests and then we can RV after that, it's okay. They're draining the swamp. They're getting the bad guys. Remember, we don't know which domino is going to affect the next one. We don't know what order it's going to come in. We know it's going to happen. We just don't know the exact order, right? And I wanted to leave you with one last thing before I go, because this is just really exciting to me. Now, let me see if I can find this one real quick. Was it that one? No, that was Judy's. That was the Zoom interview that you'll go to for the 3. All right, this is the one. So if you don't think that JFK Jr., little John is still alive, it's okay. Like, you don't have to believe that. But there are a lot of people, a lot of people that believe he has been part of this for quite some time. There's a lot of people that do believe he's not only alive, but that he's been leading this operation, this Q operation. And I guess that remains to be seen. I would just like to see some boom, boom, booms and not just, more talk. So anyhow, we're all in the same boat. We're all like, quietly optimistic because we feel it. It's like that pull of the undertow and the wave, like right before it happens, and you know something really, really big's right around the corner again. It's not just Schumann resonance. It's not just the collective feeling. It's something, it's the undertow. It's not the wave that you see coming at you. It's something underneath, and it's big, and it's here. So just ride it out. That's all you can do right now. All right, guys. I'm going to be doing a live, and I'm going to be um, inviting everybody onto another Zoom like I did before. And this time we're going to be talking about near-death experiences, lucid dreaming, and out-of-body experiences. So if you want to come and join me, I can't tell you exactly what night it is. I thought about doing it tonight even. We'll see if I have enough energy later. I've been like working all day today. So sometime this weekend I will be popping on anywhere between tonight and Sunday. And depending upon the events too. I mean, I might have to postpone that. But I really wanted to have a chat just so we can take focus and energy off of the crazy that's going on and just talk about some fun stuff, because near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, and lucid dreaming, they're fun, you know? There's some pretty cool experiences people have had, and I think that would be really neat to just bring everybody together. And if you want to join us in the Zoom live, I'll do like I did before, and I'll put a link in the description box so you can just jump on and be ready to turn your video on and mute your YouTube, and then we won't have feedback and all of that good stuff. So I'll get to that later. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.